First at 4, a showdown inside and outside Michigan's Capitol building. State Republicans refuse to give Governor Whitmer what she wants, what that means for all of us. Ford becomes the first automaker to start outlining new safety precautions for when workers head back to the plants. Ben.
Karen, pesky and low pressure center doesn't want to leave Michigan, but May is just around the corner and the weather looks much different. We'll check it out all for you next.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, protesters march on the Michigan Capitol, many of them carrying guns. They want Governor Whitmer to speed up the reopening of Michigan. The protest comes as the Republican-led legislature takes steps to limit Whitmer's emergency powers. Of course, we don't see a counter demonstration because those who support the governor are most likely following the stay-at-home order. Let's go live to Rod Maloney on this breaking situation. He's in Lansing. Rod.
Yeah, hi, Karen. The protest is finally abated here. It's been an ongoing protest since about 9 o'clock this morning. It started out here, but it went inside, and that's where we're going to start. We'll show you the video because many of the protesters wanted to get into the House chambers. And immediately, Michigan State Police and also the Sergeant-at-Arms in the House were blocking the door. They were not trying to get into the gallery. They were trying to get onto the House floor, which requires a considerable amount of security and protocol, and so they never were allowed inside. The protest was loud, but it stayed there even after the House adjourned for the day. In the meantime, the Senate has not been in session much today. There has been a lot of action in the House. We're waiting for the Senate to come out. We're expecting the minority leader to come out and speak about the situation there. But in the meantime, we can tell you that the House has passed the bills that were passed by the Senate earlier in the week that would try and eliminate or limit, rather, the governor's emergency powers. She has promised to veto that. That is likely to come here soon because it will get sent to her. But in the meantime, let's hear from some of the protesters, see what they had to say about why they were here today.
I'm a dental hygienist, and I haven't gotten my unemployment yet. So I was one of the first to apply, and the system is broken. People are angry.
People have died, and that's terrible. That's terrible. No one should die. But you don't quarantine the healthy, you quarantine the sick. And we should protect those who are at risk. Definitely.
And so there was considerable frustration. The net of all of this, Karen, is that the House and the Senate are going to allow the state of emergency to expire. And what they're saying is the governor doesn't have authority to extend because she doesn't have legislative approval. So it's going to expire at midnight. The question becomes, what will the governor do? Will she just act like it has been extended or just unilaterally announce a new one? That is where we are right now. We're sort of waiting to hear. We've reached out to the governor's office so far, haven't heard anything. But there's a whole lot more to talk about here. And we're going to have certainly more coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and again at 6. Reporting live from Lansing, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Rod, and we'll check back with you tonight at 5. As the legislature tries to control how Governor Whitmer responds to the crisis, the number of cases is still increasing in our state. Michigan now confirms more than 41,000 cases of COVID-19, an increase of nearly 1,000 from yesterday. Nearly 3,800 people have died from the virus in less than 2 months. Oakland County announced its health department has started an aggressive testing program at independent living facilities. Another 81,000 people filed for unemployment in Michigan last week. State officials are urging people who are struggling to pay their utility bills to make sure to reach out to providers and seek assistance. It's better to ask for help than just not paying those bills. Today, Ford released details about what returning to work will look like for its employees. The new safety protocols include no-touch temperature scans, daily health surveys, and new hand sanitation stations. Workers will be required to wear a face mask, and some will be given face shields if they aren't 6 feet apart from coworkers. There will be more time between shifts to limit interaction, and cafeterias and common areas will be closed. UAW says talks with Ford continue, and it is pushing for a vigorous testing component to those plans as well. No date has been set for plans to reopen. And wearing a face covering in public places has become required in Michigan, and many people are using homemade items. Now, a recently published article is raising the possibility of an alternative. Let's bring in Dr. Frank McGeorge here to explain.
A more sustainable and socially friendly option might be face shields. Now, the one I'm wearing that I use in the hospital is a bit more heavy duty than the one people might use in public. But the real question is whether it provides enough protection. And the answer is probably. Face masks do provide protection against the spread of infection, but besides the supply issues, there are people who cannot tolerate wearing a mask. Face shields have advantages over masks. They're more durable, they can be washed easily, they're more comfortable for most people, they help keep you from touching your face, and they make talking and communication by facial expressions easier. Face shields can be produced easily by do-it-yourselfers and large manufacturers on retooled assembly lines in a large volume. Most importantly, though, there is evidence they are protective. One study found in a simulated situation, face shields reduced viral exposure by 96% within 18 inches of a cough, and at a distance of 6 feet, the amount of fine aerosol inhaled was reduced by 92%. Now, this new JAMA article did point out that while face shields provide protection for the wearer, there hasn't been enough study of how well they could contain virus if the wearer coughs or sneezes. Still, this may be another good option for health officials to consider going forward. Back to you.
So much to consider. Thank you, Doc. The coronavirus continues to inflict new pain on millions of families thanks to more layoffs. Another 3.8 million Americans applied for unemployment last week. About 30 million people have applied in the past 6 weeks. The unemployment rate could hit 20% in April. That would be the highest since the Great Depression, when the rate was 25%. Here in Michigan, 1.6 million people have applied since the crisis began, and that's only counting those who can actually get into the system. Help Me Hank is tracking that struggle.
I know many of you are frustrated. The Help Me Hank team has received thousands of calls and emails from people trying to file for unemployment benefits.
We call every day, get up in the morning.
I was on the phone for over 10 hours.
Having no money.
I've shared your stories and fought to get you the answers that you deserve.
What do you say to those people who, rightfully so, are incredibly frustrated?
A record number of you logged on for our recent Facebook Live chat with the Unemployment Insurance Agency, so we're going to do it again. This Friday, 1 o'clock, an opportunity for you to get the answers you need on Facebook Live and also at clickondetroit.com. Help Me Hank, here for you.
Oh, we always appreciate it. Thank you, Hank. First at 4, we're tracking stories making headlines all around the world. Like the United States, European countries are trying to ease lockdowns and safely open businesses. Today, the World Health Organization is warning Europe the COVID-19 threat is still very real. WHO says Italy, Britain, France, Germany, and Spain still have a high number of COVID-19 cases. Also, cases are on the rise in Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. Of the 44 countries in WHO's European region, 21 have already started easing lockdowns. 11 more planning to do so. But the World Health Organization says the virus isn't going away, and social distancing measures must be monitored very closely. Japan's parliament is considering how and when to reopen their schools. The education minister told lawmakers he wants to see small, gradual steps with staggered schedules and strict social distancing. Also, students who are about to graduate would go back first. The state of emergency in Japan expires next week, but could be extended by another month. Imagine being on the other side of the world as this crisis started. It might change how you look at the pandemic. Today, we're hearing from 3 Peace Corps volunteers who were recently brought home. They spoke with our Paula Tutman about being plucked from tiny remote villages and then plopped down into what they call the danger and chaos of their own country.
For 18 months, home for Vaughn Thornton of Detroit was Pasuruan on the Indonesian island of Java. As a Peace Corps volunteer, he taught English. For Madeline Salvoski of Bloomfield, Panama was her home, where she had been an agriculture volunteer for 8 months.
I've been listening to Panamanian news, like just the radio, and so I knew that it was bad in the U.S., but there were no cases in Panama at the time.
For Miriam Hayder of Livonia, working as a math and physics teacher in the remote village of Jombe, Tanzania. All 3 were plucked from their obscure villages where they felt relatively safe from COVID-19 and thrusted back into the United States where they didn't.
When I told my host mom that there was a possibility that I would go home, she was just like, well, just stay in your room. because it won't get into, it's not here.
And all of my students were like, why are you leaving? Like, we don't have coronavirus.
They were critical of how the politicians were handling the situation. In Panama, they shut down very quickly as soon as there were any kind of signs. They definitely were taking it way more seriously, I think.
For thousands of miles, they were uncertain.
And I was nervous that I would contract it just in the airport.
And there was like this random guy, he was a tourist in Tanzania, but like, he like wouldn't stop like coughing into his hands and like sneezing into his hands. And I'm like, dude, like I'm going back to my grandpa and my high risk family, like stop.
I do think it was a dichotomous situation to have to come back here. And but there's a part of me that thanks Peace Corps for making the decision, because I know personally I would have stayed.
But all three say there are important lessons the United States, the most developed country on the planet, can learn from the most remote villages in the world.
I know in like Tanzania, community is a huge thing. And I feel like something we can learn from that is to be selfless.
There's a reason that we were pulled from everything that we built over there. And so taking it seriously, when I see people not without masks, people not taking these cautions seriously, it just hurts, because I had to, you know, everybody's making sacrifices.
Now, something else to think about. These are just 3 of thousands of volunteers who've been vacuumed out of very needy places on the globe. And without that talent there, these volunteers are concerned it'll be difficult to continue to fund programs like the Peace Corps. Karen?
All right. Thank you, Paula. In the first forecast, we could see a few showers tonight, but are we finally going to start moving past the rain? Meteorologist Ben Bailey standing by right now with a preview for all of us. Hey, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, it does look like we are going to turn the corner. It's our last day of April, and we are going to leave the clouds and the rain in this month. You can see the last of it here on 4 Live Radar. A little bit more of an organized area of showers than what we were looking at yesterday, and that's going to continue to sweep through in the next few hours. In fact, the computer data is suggesting that that's going to weaken considerably once we get past dinner time. So there's not going to be a lot left past this evening. What little there is going to hold on to the east side. Maybe a couple drops left around sunrise, but generally dry conditions and cloudy skies to start. And then things really start to improve as we head into tomorrow afternoon and especially the weekend. Wait till you see the numbers for Saturday and Sunday coming up in just a few minutes. Karen?
Thanks, Ben. Still ahead, a police officer caught in the line of fire, but something he was wearing may have saved his life, and it wasn't a bulletproof vest. Also, a woman in Ferndale is shot while sleeping in her own bed. We've got updates on the investigation and her